Casting itself as the underdog in the upcoming Mt Roskill by-election, the Prime Minister John Key says it's virtually unheard of for the government to take a seat off the opposition in a by-election. ACT is doing its bit to help National by announcing it won't contest the seat. Labour leader Andrew Little is with us now in the Wellington studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Just checking you don't have any worries with ACT not contesting the seat?
No, not really. They don't fare particularly well in that seat. The contest has always come down to Labour and National, and that's where the contest will be this time.
I'm slightly unclear as to why it's okay for you to do a deal with Greens, but you didn't feel it was okay for ACT and National to do a deal in Epsom.
I don't think the two are comparable at all. I mean, the reason why National did a deal with ACT for Epsom was to prop up that government. This is a completely different kettle of fish. This is about Mt Roskill. It's a seat that we've held the seat for some considerable time, a la Phil Goff. But in the last election, let's be honest with ourselves too, we didn't win the party vote last time. We were 2,000 votes short.
Just talking about the deal, the ends may be similar, but the means are surely not the same. I mean, you're limiting people's choice. By Greens pulling out, you're giving people less of a choice in their voting. Well, is that fair?
Well, political parties will make what choices they want about where they stand candidates, but the reality is that this is a by-election, and what is at stake here, I think if you see what the Greens have said about it, is the government's majority. Actually, on our side of the House, no one wants the government's majority to grow. We're about ultimately, next year, changing the government. We're not going to do anything that's going to compromise that objective.
Well, that's your choice, but if I wanted to vote Greens in Mt Roskill, I couldn't.
Not in a by-election, and I think what people want to focus on in a by-election, because you only get one vote as opposed to the two votes you get in a general election, is, what is the best way to use that vote? What's going to lead to the most desired outcome? And we are going to be campaigning on an outstanding candidate in Michael Wood and Labour retaining the seat, and then next year campaigning on changing the government so that we can get improvements to the things that this government is failing on.
Oh, you're quite right. Mt Roskill party voted National, so there's a risk that it was a safe seat for Phil Goff, but it's not so safe anymore.
Listen, we don't take anything for granted. There are no guarantees in this. That's why, we've got on early when Phil announced he wasn't going to stand in the 2017 election. We got on to selecting our candidate. It's Michael Wood, so he's there for the by-election. We've got our campaign plan underway. We've got the campaign team in place. We're ready to go. We will be working our backsides off for every single vote that we can get.
Are you concerned about the impact of the People Party? Roshan Nariya is appealing to the Indian and Chinese communities there.
No, I mean, this is a democracy, so...
well, it was a democracy until the Greens pulled out and I couldn't vote for them.
But yes, I mean, that's their democratic choice, whether or not they want to participate in this particular by-election. They've made that decision. But for the People's Party, good on them, put their candidate up. We will be working very hard with all the communities that are in Mt Roskill, the ethnic communities, and right across the board. As I say, we take nothing for granted.
How hard will that be for Labour, given that you have, as far as I know, no MPs of Asian or Indian ethnicity in your caucus?
I think when do you?
What
the people? No, we have none. What the people of Mt Roskill want is a good advocate in Michael Wood. They've got somebody who's been on the community board, who's led the community board, led campaigns.
So do you think ethnicity doesn't really matter so much?
I think what people want is a good advocate for their seat and the issues that are important. We know that, for example, the rising crime rate, the fact that, you've got a shop there robbed 3 times in 3 weeks, concerned about lack of police numbers, the closing down of the community police station.
That's exactly what the People Party is campaigning on.
So it'll be a good contest then.
Your pledge to gender balance in the caucus by 2017, any moves to ethnic balance?
I am committed to having a caucus next year that is as reflective as it possibly can be of New Zealand, and that means better ethnic representation than we've got at the moment.
So you've got 50-50 women in caucus, that's the target, is it?
We have a rule that requires us to aim for that for the 2017 result.
And what's the target for ethnic balance?
Well, we need to dramatically improve our representation. Reasonably easy, I guess, if you're at 0, but we've got to have better representation of ethnic communities in our caucus. And
so you don't have a target; it's just got to be better, which is inevitable.
Yeah, well, that's the target. It has to be better. Yep.
Well, all you need is one. MP, and that
We
would
have to
be
do better.
100% better.
We have to do better. As the caucus grows in size, then we should be doing better in terms of that representation.
Are you hoping to kind of get a branding on Labour in this by-election?
Well, we've spent the year campaigning on some pretty crucial issues. Housing, and we know that housing is a big issue for Mt Roskill. Young couples who, no matter how hard they work, can't afford to buy their first home. So we're campaigning on housing, as we have been all year. We'll be campaigning on transport. We know that's a big issue in Auckland, the need for more public transport. Michael Wood's got a good plan about that he'll be campaigning on. I've talked about law and order, but things like health, access to health care, those are crucial issues for the people of Mt Roskill that they've been telling us about. We've been campaigning on those issues all year, and we will continue in the by-election.
So are you looking ahead to the election when it comes to putting your stake in the ground in this by-election?
There's
Or is it a different thing, a by-election?
Well, it is a different thing. For one thing, there's much more intense scrutiny. People attach a lot more weight to it than they would do normally in a general election. But it is a good opportunity to test run some of the policies, the initiatives, the ideas that we've got. But also,
What are you looking forward to test running most?
Well, policy on law, what we're going to do to improve the situation with the growing crime rate.
What are you going to do?
How are we going to get that down? I'll make an announcement later this week that I think will bear upon that.
Does it have something to do with more police?
Possibly, yes. That'd be a good guess.
Yes.
And I think the other thing, as we saw with the local body elections, is test driving some new campaign techniques. As we saw in the local body elections, we did things differently this time, stuff that we haven't done before. There's no question that it worked for us in some of the campaigning we did in the last few months, and we will use that again in the by-election and next year.
It's odd to hear the Labour Party doing the law and order thing. That's usually the more right-wing parties that do the law and order thing, isn't it?
When burglaries are on the rise, assaults are on the rise, I mean, everybody gets affected, right across the board. So I don't think it's exclusive to any end of the political spectrum. People want safe communities. And when you've got a government that's now put a 4-year freeze on police numbers, fewer police now than when the government took office, actually there is something wrong with the rising population. We've got to fix this problem, and we can't do it with what the government's doing at the moment. I
feel obliged to ask you, should you be in the position of having to welcome Donald Trump as President of the United States here, would you happily shake his hand?
I think I would be obliged to in the interests of New Zealand-US relations.
But you'd wash it afterwards?
I would be, suitably circumspect about what happened afterwards.
Nice to talk to you. Thank you, Andrea Little, leader of the Labour Party.